Dear students, greetings once again. Today we are here for lesson number 11. When we ended lesson number 10, we ended with the use of tenses. How the different tenses should be used in what situation. It is not that we use all the 12 tenses in all the situations. Related to that very concept is the idea called sequence of tenses. Sequence of tenses. I'll write it down for you so that it becomes easy. Sequence of tenses. I'm not going to give the lengthy rules that are available in your grammar books, but I'll give you just 3 hints on sequence. The first one is regarding the use of past tense. And what's the rule? A story, a narrative, or even a paragraph. If you began in past tense, you will continue writing the rest of the sentences or verbs that come after also in past tense. I am repeating it again. Once you begin a story, a paragraph, or a sentence in past tense, the subsequent verbs that come in that paragraph or in that story or in that sentence should also be in past tense or past form. I give an example, you will know it. You know the famous story, The Thirsty Crow. I'm just taking the opening lines. Once there was a crow. You can see the verb was and it is in past tense. Therefore, when I write the next sentence, it goes also in past tense. It was very thirsty. You can see the second verb there. It was very thirsty. And this rule applies whether it is a story like this or even a single sentence with multiple verbs or a narration. It can be historic narration or a paragraph writing, whatever. The second rule to remember is also sentence starting with the past tense. The sentence starts with the past tense, but the subsequent verb is joined with the help of the conjunction than. When you connect it with than, it is a comparison. It is okay, you are comparing with the past activity, but what you compare with the past need not necessarily be past. It can be in present or future also. So I give an example so that you may follow that. He liked you more than, I am connecting with than, more than he likes me. Now look at that. Here I used past tense. I am joining the next one with than, and here the comparison is with the present situation. How much he likes me. So a past can be compared with the present, and therefore here you have a present tense. Therefore, when you are using the joining word than, you can compare it with the present. It could be a past. He liked you more than he liked me. Oh yes, quite possible. Or he liked you more than he might like me. Future tense. All that is possible. The next rule you need to remember about the sequence of tenses is the use of future. Normally, we don't use double future, meaning thereby, in a given sentence, we don't use future tense twice. So let me first write an example. I will not come if it rains. You can say the sentence very well the other way. If it rains, I will not come. It hardly matters. But the point is, there are two verbs. Here, I will not come. This is future. Whereas, it is followed by if it rains, present simple tense. That's what I am telling. So, a future is not followed also by an equal future. Some students wrongly say, I will not come if it will not rain. That is not acceptable. Now, what is the sequence here to care about? Let me put it the other way. If it rains, I am talking about a future action. If it rains, maybe tomorrow morning, I will not come. Yeah. Watch this. This is present simple tense. It is followed by future tense in present form. Future tense in present form. Suppose I changed it into past tense. If it rained, I am talking about a past situation. I would not come. Even though I would prefer, I would not have come. If it rained, I would not come. Here I used past tense, rained, and I am not changing the future, but I am putting the future in its past form. And that is what is. I am putting the future in its past. So you don't have double future. At the same time, if it is present, here also present form. If it is past, here also past form. And that is the sequence of tenses. There are many more rules, but then instead of simply loading our minds with the rules, let's try some practical exercise. Here I have in printed portion, come closer and copy it carefully. Okay. This says fill in the blank with the correct form of verb. So you have to use the right tense, teach. Now how you are going to put it there, in what form? And here it says tick the correct option. Here again there are different, same verb in different shapes like weight and weights. That's one example. Plural and singular, and therefore how you are going to use it. When you are using this, the rule to keep in mind is the verb takes the number and person of the subject. Let me explain it. If the subject is singular, let us say third person singular, the verb also should take a singular form, S connected form. If the subject is plural or plural form like they or we, which are plural, the verb will be in plural form. And therefore in certain sentences you need to take extra care to identify the subject correctly and say whether it is singular or plural, and thereafter choose the verb. There are words like each, every, either and other similar words which actually make the subject singular, and therefore you need to be careful that you pick up a singular verb. So when you do these exercises, you will see the need to perhaps look into some of these related rules under sequence of tenses and agreement of the verb with the subject, and please do that. In the middle we have a question on modals, otherwise helping verb. I not asked for the uses. I only asked, just recall, go back to the table that we wrote down, at least pick up 10 such models, and can you find 10 meaning for that? Just to give you an example, the model can, the meaning ability, second meaning informal permission. This way you can choose 10 models and write 2 meanings each. This is done. Okay. Having done about sequence of tenses and having completed this work, that is the homework assignment, we are more or less in a position to switch on to another topic. Let me this time tell you. In your right from class 6 upwards, you studied about active voice and passive voice. And very often we learned it up, and when the exams came, we knew how to change an active voice into passive voice. But maybe we did not bother to examine why do we call a sentence in active voice, a sentence is in active voice, or why do we call a sentence is in passive voice. I am giving the simple secret of it with the help of an example. I teach English. The verb is teach. Who is doing that action of teaching, I. In other words, I is the doer of the action. And the definition is very simple, therefore. If the doer of the given action is also in the place of subject, if the doer of the given action is also in the place of subject, you call it active voice, meaning thereby the subject I is active. I can equally write the same sentence with the same verb, but there you will see a slight different composition. English is taught by me. Here, where is the verb? Is taught. And what is the action? Action of teaching. Now, who is doing that action of teaching? It is far away here, me. But then, who is in the place of subject? What is taught? What is taught? English is taught. So, in the place of subject, we have English, but subject is not the doer of the action. The subject English is not the doer of the action teaching. It is somewhere else. If the subject is not the doer, you call it passive. Then you will say this sentence is in passive voice. Now, maybe this sounds a bit theoretic, but to make it very practical to you, and note it down very carefully and print it in your mind. How do you identify a passive voice? Are you going to look for by, or going to look for something else just to say that a given sentence is passive? They are all, I should say, misguided ways. The easiest and the quickest way to identify a passive voice is its verb combination. Look at the verb here. Teach, which is a simple tense. Look at the verb here. The combination is taught. Is also simple tense. You will identify it this way. We have the past participle or the third form of teach, that is taught. Taught is therefore past participle of the verb. Past participle by itself does not make a complete verb. To this we take a B group verb. You know the B group verbs? Be, am, is, are, etc., etc., etc. In the given sentence, it is a present tense, and what is taught is actually English. That again is third person, and therefore we choose S connected B group. S connected B group is. This is the B. Therefore, if you have this combination, B group verb with past participle, you can always be sure the verb is in passive voice. Look at any sentence, given sentence, see the verb combination. Do you find this combination, B group and past participle? Be sure it is passive voice. Therefore, you have an assignment today to make this idea very concrete to you. In English for Nurses, your textbook, English for Nurses, page 85. Page 85. At the bottom, you will find an exercise there. It says, is the given verb transitive or intransitive? And is it in active voice or passive voice? For transitive, intransitive, you will look for object. Where there is object, it is transitive, otherwise intransitive. In the case of active and passive, you will see the verb combination. Is the combination be group and past participle? If this combination is there, it is passive voice. If that is not there, it is active voice. Thank you.